I know. I read it and I thought actually they're using it for the using it in the on the publicity for the show we're going to be talking about in a little while. So I thought I'd have to mention it. It's quite good. I mean, you do. I mean, getting away from the Fine Young Cannibals, you had that as a big thing, and then you went into acting, including some great roles. I remember the film very well. Sammy and Rosie Get Laid. I remember that very, very well, and that was, I think, your first screen role.
Yes.
And how did you find that after all the musical success? How did you find acting?
It's a funny thing, acting. I mean, I do enjoy it. I don't do it that much, but it can be kind of hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
In that you're like a gun for hire when you're acting.
Mm.
Whereas when you do music, you're kind of creating your own work. Which I find more interesting than showing up
okay.
on somebody else's thing. No, but I don't think my personality is really suited to the life of an actor.
What the one night's moving? I suppose with acting, you if you're doing films, you're there for a period of time. Also, if you're doing plays, you do like a week here, a week there. Rather than if you're gigging with a band, you normally do one night in, say, Hull, then one night in, Birmingham, then one night in Nottingham, and one, all over the place. Whereas acting is more of you do a week of this or a couple of months of this, don't you?
Yeah, and it's your show when it's your band.
Mm.
Whereas, I mean, I did a tour of Romeo and Juliet. I played Romeo, and it was fun in some ways, but it was kind of I don't know. The whole day is dominated by the play you've got to do that night because it's such a big. It was a 3-hour production, so you kind of feel like your life's not your own somewhat.
Yeah.
That was the feeling I ended up with. And it's like I was around somebody's house the other day, and this guy, he's a couple. They've recently had a baby, and then he's got a 5-year contract for a TV thing that's filmed abroad.
Wow.
So 7 months of the year, apparently, he's got to be out of the country.
Yeah.
You got to have the right kind of personality to want to, have that kind of thing.
So my next question was going to be, which do you prefer, the acting or the music? I think you've just answered that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually. Don't get me wrong. I've done acting jobs that I've really loved, like doing Sammy and Rosie was fantastic.
Yeah.
And a lot about doing Romeo and Juliet was great, and I could do that then as well because I wasn't really settled. I didn't have kids or anything like that. But I really love acting. I think I like that thing where you create your own work. So
okay, so
I'm more into writing and being in stuff that I've written.
Okay, there's not a play or film you yearn to be in then at the moment?
Yeah, there's this one called Return to Vegas.
Is there?
I yearn to be in that. I've written.
Oh, it's your show, is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, hope the producers are listening.
Yeah.
So, you're currently, I understand you're recording a brand new album. Is that correct?
Look, yeah, there'll be an album with. At the moment, it's I've adapted the script for a stage musical, so there'll be an album that'll come with the musical.
And when's any idea when the musical's going to be out and about, so people can come and see that?
Could be 2017.
2017. So it's a little bit away. Yeah. So the album. So you're actually working on the soundtrack as well as the play as well at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of it's been written, and then a lot of the songs that I'm playing, and I have been playing live, will be part of that soundtrack.
Okay, I mean, you had a number one in America, which a lot of British bands did around the sort of the 80s, late 80s, but it never went to number one in Britain. You know, She Drives Me Crazy went to number one, well, basically all across the world almost, didn't it? Canada, New Zealand, America, but never, well, it was a big hit in Britain, but it was never a number one.
No.
Very strange.
Well, I'd rather have number one in America than in England.
Would you?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, it sort of feels, well, you know, back then, anyway.
Yeah.
It felt like more of an accomplishment.
Because a lot of
because
bands...
it's a bigger country, and, you know, people used to say, to break America would be...
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. A lot of bands broke in America first. I mean, The Police, Dire Straits, and there's lots of people who big names over here, like Cliff Richards, never managed to crack America. And I go out there regularly, and I think one of the problems is they try and... Each radio station has its little pigeonhole. You've got country and western, you've got folk, you've got this, you've got that, you've got that. And if you don't fit into one of those little pigeonholes now, there's a problem, I think, and it's very difficult for them to break the mould, isn't it?
It is, but I think they found it hard to pigeonhole FYC.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
But they seem to manage it. They seem to manage, they seem to find a place for us. They seem to have found a pigeonhole for FYC.
Yeah, because you did very well in the States. In fact, you had more than one number one. Because Good Thing went there as well, didn't it, as well? And
we had this album was number one for about 3 months.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's very strange how sort of British music, it crosses over. And some bands, have it hit. I mean, Dire Straits were big in America before they became a hit. It's over here. Same with The Police, and it's strange. When was the last time you toured as yourself? Because I know you've been doing like the festivals, the Rewind and that sort of thing, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a mini tour in September.
Last 2014.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anybody you'd like to work with or sing with, perform with?
Oh, I don't know.
There's nobody sort of you look at your musical hero and think I'd love to work with him or them or. Just put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. It's good. I've never done that. I mean, I did once on a French TV show. I did a duet with Lionel Richie.
Well, that must have been great.
Which was fun. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's often the strange bedfellows, shall we say, that actually work the best.
Yeah.
So
well, I think I'm always open to things, but it would have to come from. It'd have to come from the song.
Yeah. There's nobody you sort of admire and you look upon as your musical hero and think, I wish I'd worked with him or wish I'd have.
No, there are, but but. Not necessarily in that way.
Okay. What would you say has been the highlight of your musical career so far? Or your career?
I think... Yeah, again, I mean... One night was real fun was when we did a performance on the Wogan show, and then caught the plane up to Glasgow, and then performed at Barrowlands the same night.
Wow!
And that was kind of like pretty groovy. It was like the place was rammed.
Yeah, it's. I've heard it's a great venue. I must admit, I've never ever been there, but I've heard it's a great musical venue.
Yeah.
And what would you talk about the highlight of your career? What would you say is sort of the low point of your career?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really like to dwell on that.
Okay, well, I won't. I
mean, I don't know. We had a manager who he died in a hotel room of heroin overdose.
Oh,
that was pretty low.
Yeah, that's not so good.
No.
Oh, we'll skip over that one. Do you have any unfulfilled ambitions?
I think more in. You see, I used to try and separate music and drama, and I don't want to do that. So, really, for Return to Vegas to get up and away, that would be
that's your thing. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this Return to Vegas show? Can you sort of give us a little bit of the sketch of the sort of the outline of the show?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you the elevator pitch.
Go on then.
Johnny Holloway, ex-pop star. No, sorry, I'll start again. Johnny Holloway, ex-boxer, ex-pop star, ex-con, is released from prison in time for the funeral of his friend and mentor, Frank Wheeler. At the wake, Johnny finds that he's inherited Frank's club, the Welly, along with Ricky, Frank's only son. Johnny doesn't plan to stay. Ricky wants him dead, whichever way. What will save Johnny? The dirty money, the pretty girl, or the sad song? Return to Vegas, based on a true story that didn't happen.
It sounds great. You sold it to me.
Thank you.
I think it sounds great. I mean, I like a nice stage musical. I like a nice good story with it as well. And some of them don't have great stories.
No, well, I think this is a good story and it's got good songs.
Yeah, that's good. Have you got anybody in mind for playing the lead role and the other roles? Which role are you having?
Yeah, well, I wrote the character Johnny.
For yourself?
For me. But there's a woman called Lucy Beaumont who I wrote Carol for. The character of Carol, which is the pretty girl.
Okay, that's good. Is there anything you'd like to be remembered for? If anybody says, "Oh, Roland Gift," how would you like to be remembered?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I care.
You know, okay, well, that's fine. Okay.
I'm not sure I care. In that, I'd rather do what I want to do,
and don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah,
well, that's not wrong.
I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody or anything. Okay. I think it's more important how I live my life rather than how I'm remembered.
That's fine. What away from the music business, what do you do to unwind as a hobby?
I suppose Tai Chi.
Tai Chi, yeah. Well,
hobby.
I definitely don't want to upset you then if you're into Tai Chi. And your favourite song? What's your favourite sort of song you've recorded, and sort of your favourite song? What cheers you up on your iPlayer or whatever you have?
My favourite song that I've recorded?
Well, both. One you've recorded and one that you enjoy listening to.
Well, I've got a song called Crushed that I really like.
Okay.
I think is, and it reminds me a bit of one of my favourite songs, which is Try a Little Tenderness.
Okay.
By Otis Redding.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, not always the case, but sometimes there's a song that you wished you'd written.
Yeah.
And that could be Try a Little Tenderness.
Okay,
so I've written this song called Crushed.
Crushed. Okay.
Has a bit of some of the soul of that music.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a bit of soul music, I must admit. I'd enjoy that. Over the career, you've had quite a long career from the 80s right through to now. What's the biggest changes you've seen in the music business?
I think digital.
The digital revolution.
Yeah, that's kind of. There were two big changes. In 1996, I think the music business changed quite a lot, and the word. In the term music business became a bigger word than music. For one reason or another. But then, the digital revolution kind of